joining them, you'll be able to have insights to the other tables. But we are going to look at the details, the period, and the product first. Then before moving to the age, the country, and the gender, and the loyalty. So details will be my main table for today's class. The main table. So I will open it now and let's see what is inside the table. Now we have my primary ID, salesperson ID. I also have another ID. I have salesperson, I have city, I have sales price, and I have item sold. So it means that I have like 6 columns table. Now let's check the product as well. Remember, we want to don't forget that continuation. So I'll come to umbrella. And if you look at this particular as salesperson ID, then another ID is also 1. 6 is still for 10. And if you look at here, this is the information of the continuation of what she sold. SPID 1, PID 1, the product cookies, and the expenses. So to track the information of my salesperson, one is number 4. I can use my primary key to track. That's why it is called relational database. MySQL is inside a database already. And if you look at the period, this is my right click. If you look at Edu, the first salesperson, 21, that will be January 1. This was the day she sold the particular products. So it means that I have my details. I have my details. I also have, and then I have the period. The period the took place. I have my period. So the data, the tables are related. They are related. They are, that I as an assignment 2 weeks ago. Imagine bringing it into S with like, is it not 700 if I'm still correct or if my memory is not fair? Imagine bringing in that table, this particular, and I want to carry out my analysis. It will make sense. This I just have 10 rows. That one is like 700 rows. It's even COVID-19 data. How is COVID-19 data? How is it related to what we are doing here? The business, let me call it business data or sales data. Related, the continuation of the particular information, particular table, continuation of this table, that table, continuation of table 1, table 2, continuation of table 2, table 3, continuation of table 3, table 4, continuation of table 4, table 5, and it will have a primary key. And if you look at that database, that COVID-19, we don't even have a primary key there. So that means we can bring in COVID-19 data on this particular database. That will be an error. That will be wrong. So now that's now let's continue with analysis. Now I will come back here again and I will just do few things here. I will just refresh our memory. I will just select distinct salesperson. Refresh our memory. Practice make perfect. Control V. So let me try to rewrite it again. Select select this salesperson. Information details. I will enter and then we have 12 returned. So remember I explained the meaning of distinct and unique in this class. So we've been able to see distinct salesperson. We can also go for distinct just to refresh. I mean, Control V. So that means if I will go for my distinct city, select the distinct city. So under this table, it means we have Ibadan, Lake, Jos. That's good. And then we can also say that where sales equals Raymond. Salesperson or salesperson is equal to, let's use John Moore. So we are expecting to see Raymond Ikems and John Moore information. This is what we are passing into this instruction we are passing to our database, and this we want the information of these two guys to be returned back to us. Just say enter. So we can get now we have access to this guy, Raymond and Ikems. Just Abuja sales price or what is sold 500, items sold 1, items sold 4. But we can't see the product that this guy sold and the product that Raymond Ikems sold. Remember I said that we are still going to join all the tables together, join everything together, and it will not become one large table. So we are still going there, but I'm just doing this one just to refresh our memories. So I'll come down here again and let's see what we can do from this data again. So I can also say Ctrl V, where city equals to Ibadan. Or city equals to, let's use Abuja this time. Abuja. So I will just say Control and enter. So we've been able to see those in Ibadan here. City, Ibadan, Ibadan. Teju, Veronica. Teju is from Ibadan. Veronica is from Ibadan. Raymond is from Ibadan. James is from Abuja. Benson Bills is from Ibadan. Then Song Ribbon. Ruben is also from Abuja. Then this is their sales price and the items. So 3 items, 4, 4, 2, 7. This guy, this seller's PID, the seller's product ID, he has, he was the highest here. He had the highest here. He had the highest here. So that is that on that table. Remember, you can also use your likes. You can just say select start from information details where salesperson like, and then you just put your alphabet, put your percentage. Is it the one from the front? Is it is it that you want to see the name that has this letter in the front or at the back, or the whole letter? 2%. So that's that. And another one is you can also use your order by. I will just say that one off, and you can also use your order by. Your order by will mean that is you want to filter the salesperson using starting from ascending order or descending order. So I'm just trying to refresh our memories. And also you can also make use of after that by, you can also make use of in, where state in, where state not in, where state in, not where state not in, just those. So you can also make use of, just to refresh your memory. You are not doing it, but just to refresh your, to refresh our memories. So now let's now continue. Now this is my product table. I can also get my distinct product here, and I will quickly do that as well. We just come down and say select distinct products. So select distinct product from information products. So let's look at the distinct here. Okay, how many? 12 rows returned. Okay, now let's look at period. And then this is a period. There is nothing to do here. This is the period when the transaction took place. Now let's come back to our details table and see a few things. Now, if you look at this particular table, I have sales price and I also have items. I also have items sold. Now, let's say from this table, I want to get my revenue. I want to get my revenue from this table. You know what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply this column with this column, and then it will give me my revenue. That will be sales price multiplied by item sold. Remember how we normally do it in Excel. Now this is SQL. Let's see how we can go about that. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this. I'm going to Ctrl V. Let me write a comment here because we make use of this particular thing I'm about to. I'll just say new column. Since we will be creating a new column, then I can use past tense. New column created. New column created. Then here I will just open brackets. Just put revenue column. Or I can put it here. I will just put revenue here. So that because we are still going to reference this particular query. So let's see now. So let me continue with my stuff. So let's start from information details, and I will put my SPID, comma, my ID, comma, the salesperson, comma, the city, comma, the sales price, comma, and then the item sold. Good. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply sales price. I'm going to multiply my sales price and my item sold. So I'll put comma here, and then I will say sales price by item sold. I'll and since I want to get a new column here, my revenues, I want to have a new column here. I will just say I will use a just say as revenue, put my quotation, write my revenue, put my quotation. So I'm expecting to see a new column right here after the item sold. I will come down here, and because I don't want it to long, it's too long like this, so I can reduce it. I will just use my enter here. So select SPID, ID, salesperson, city, sales price, item sold, sales price multiplied by item sold, change the header to revenue from information details. Now, the reason why I'm putting, you might be wondering that sales price, why am item sold? That why not sales price multiplied by revenue? Now, I purposely did it this way. I this particular now if I remove, can you see now this is a new column, right? Revenue. So we have a revenue already now. Now if I remove sales, if I don't put sales price and items sold, we will only have revenue alone. And when someone is working, or let's say when a person is working on your data or want to see what you have done, you might be wondering that how did you get revenue? What did you multiply to get revenue? You get that? Now let me try to show you something. So I will just clear my sales price, and I will clear my items sold as well. I will still maintain my comma is there already. I will just say control plus enter. Now, this is what I'm saying. Now, if someone sees this, what do you think? What will come to their mind? How do you get revenue here? How did you arrive at revenue? What did you multiply to get your revenue? What? You have done mago now. How did you get it? How? Tell her how? To just save yourself from unnecessary stress. You get that? You will just need to just ensure that you put the sales price and the item sold. You write the query as well, so that when you initiate it, you will see both the sales price and then item sold, and they will know that, oh, you multiply sales price with items sold to get revenue. Okay, so this one multiplied by this, it will give us this. Okay. I now get now. So let me come back to it and put it back. So I'll put my sales price back, and I'll put my item sold, and I will hit my enter. I will hit my enter. What are we saying? Item sold does not exist. What we just did the other time. Come on. Just put my comma again and I will execute it again. So comma. I will execute it again. So now we've successfully got a new column here. So we have one table now. The first table here, the details table, we've successfully got a revenue for the table. So it means that I can know the revenue that this person tells you, or this figure one, this ID one, I can see the revenue this person brought in. I can see the revenue Veronica brought in. I can see the revenue Jojo Phillips brought in. I can see the revenue Z Jax brought in. I can also see the revenue John Moore brought in, and so on and so forth. So we are building. Let's continue. Now, the next thing we want to do is this. We want to, now if you look at this table, this products table, we have expenses here. So, and if I want to get profit, it will mean that I'm going to say revenue minus expenses, and then it will give me profit. Right? Yes. Now, let's continue. That's how I'm going to get my profit. Don't forget, we want to join these tables together. We want to join all these tables. These tables, we want to join them together. Now, we've already gotten our revenue here. So now we want to use our inner join. So here I'm going to put, because of time, let me just say, let me use my normal symbol, inner join. So we're about to join everything on this table. We want to join everything together, so to become one large table. One large table. So single table. Let's see how we can go about that. Now, I'm going to do something now. Now, we're about to join. Now, please, I want you to pay attention. This inner join. So I want you to pay attention. Pay attention. Now, we are going to, don't forget this revenue table. Just leave this one. Let it be resting. Just let it be resting for now. We'll come back to it. Let's go back to joining of tables now. Now, I was told from my boss to join these 7 tables together so that he can have access to all the information inside this table. That is, my boss doesn't want to be doing it one after the other, country details coming to another table. He wants to see everything in a single table so that he can have insight. Or maybe all that single table now, he wants you to join a single table, join everything in a single table, and go and continue your visualization in Microsoft Excel. Maybe that's what we want you to do. So, how do we go about that? Now, what we are going to do now is I'm going to do copy and paste here. I will copy this Don't forget, I said details will be our main table. Say copy, and then I will paste. So after pasting, I will put this column there. I'll put this column here, revenue. Don't forget, revenue is part of details. So I'll put revenue also here. So now, this is my SPID, right? I will just put a dot in front, and I will put the name of the table, details. This is the database, and this is the table under my database information. So I'll put details here, and then I'll come down here, I'll put my dots, and I'll also put details as well. And then let me just copy details. Control C. So I will just put dots and then paste dots and then paste dots and then paste dots and then paste dots and then paste. Now, successfully done a single table. Now, select details, details ID, salesperson, sales price, sales revenue from details. This is my details. Let me, okay, I've copied it already. Control V. I'll put my semicolon. Control Enter. Now, what did you see? Unknown column details, revenue in the field list. I will tell you the reason, but let's continue first. So it's too long. I'll put it down, and then I will continue my journey. Now, I've successfully inputted my first details table. Now, I'm going to my second table, which happens to be product, right? So I'm going to say product dot SPID, product PID, product expenses. That's what I'm about to do now. So I'll put my comma here. I'll say product dot SPID, comma, product dot PID, comma, product dot product, comma, and then product dot expenses. So I have already added two tables now. It's too long. I'll cut it again. So now I've added two tables. Now, if I say Control plus Enter, we keep seeing revenue in field list, unknown column details the revenue in the field list. Let's continue joining our table. We'll talk about it. Then I will explain why. So now I've successfully inputted this table and this table. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is that I'm going to come down here. I'm going to say join. Let me use small letter. Join. What are we joining? I want to join this details table to this table, products. So I will say join products. Let me allow SQL to guide me with the word. Join products. Now, on what? That will be details. And if you look at the second table, product, we have your SPID. See, SPID. Now, this I've inputted two tables and I want to join them together now. So I'm expecting to see two tables joined, details table and product table, so that we can have access to the product, that the product of the sales person, what they sold. So when I hit my enter, we are still seeing error, details revenue not recognized. Now, let me now get rid of this revenue. Now, why are we seeing revenue not recognized? Why? Now, remember last week when I was doing, when I was updating a particular table last week, and I told you that after executing the query, before executing the query, I was telling you guys that it is very possible that I might not see this column. So I told you guys like that. When I executed it, I saw that it joined the table I executed, and I was like, wow. So I now said that the reason I was thinking last week was this, that I've already written queries, and whenever I input a new column, I used to face that, especially when joining queries together, joining tables together, that I was expecting that to happen when I was doing that one. So I later realized that it will not happen simply because that column I initiated last week, if you're with me last week, you will get what I'm saying. That column if you're in the class, you will get what I'm saying. That column that I initiated, that bonus column, it was I initiated a new column with my database, and then I updated that column into my database. So my SQL already he accepted my execution. He accepted the new column because the first thing I did, I added the column, then I updated the database. So it will now recognize the activities. It will recognize what the command it could understand the instruction I passed into the database. So it retrieved back the column and I was able to see. I was say, wow. But in this case, this is a new column. And it's not that I performed the same task I did then. This one, I didn't say alter table, add revenue, vaca, 30, vaca, integer, enter, update details. set revenue equals to so, where ID equals 1. You know, I didn't do that here. What I did here was this. I only multiply a column with another column to get my revenue. Hence, we are getting unknown column details. So let's say I did it the way I did the other one. So it will mean that I won't need to multiply item multiply by this. I will have it already inside my book. As I input revenue, I will have done the calculation manually. I will just be inputting 300 multiplied by sales price multiplied by 200, 100, 500. I will just be inputting. So I won't have any challenge with that. So we won't have any challenge with that, and it will not be writing, it will not be returning back this. It will not. I hope it's cleared now. Fine. So let's now continue now. You know, I was saying that I will explain when we are doing table joining. Now I'll explain now. That's the reason. So let's now go back to what we are doing. Now let's get rid of this stuff and let's see. So I'm going to remove revenue from this table. Details dot revenue. I will come here and then I will get rid of it. So let's try to join again. Now we can now see that we've joined our table together. Now we have two tables joined and it became a single table. So you will now see that salesperson, the first salesperson ID, the number one, we can now see our expenses. And we can also see the product she bought. We can have access to have insight to our products. The product she sold, and then the expenses on that product. Same thing to Veronica. We can now have access to the products she sold, beverages, and then the expenses. Also Jojo Phillips, beverages, and then Zigzag, wine, expenses 15. John Moore, umbrella, and then expenses 25. Now we are building. Let's continue. Yeah, before we proceed, I want to say this, please. We might not finish exactly 6:30 today. Is it? Yes, 6:30. We might not finish 6:30. You know, today is the last day, and today is the last class for our training. So please don't be in haste, don't disconnect. Just flow along with me, pay attention to what I'm doing. What I'm just trying to just prepare your mind that 6:30 might not be possible today. If I'm unable to, I want to finish everything today and I'm going to finish it. So 6:30 will not even be possible, but I promise you, I'm not going to finish on 7 dots. Before 7, I will finish everything. But 6:30 will not be possible today. Thank you very much. So let me continue. Now, we've successfully joined two tables together. And then we have another table here called period. Now we want to join period. We want to join period to this details table, to this table as well, so that we can know the time the transaction was performed. So how do we go about that? Then I will continue again. I'll come to my period. Let's see what is under period. We have ID. We also
This training was brought to you by NEF Education Foundation. Kindly watch the next video to continue this lesson.